We're Robin and Steve. In the last episode, as we sailed away from the Whitsunday area, we hit some uncharted overfalls, where, in some conditions, the currents bending around the coast make for rough seas. We're travelling quite fast, because we want to get south to meet our new boat, Sirena. But let's pick up where we left off on beautiful Scawfell Island, where the waters are rich in both turtles and reef sharks. Last episode we left off kayaking with sharks, but now let's get underwater. Again, we didn't time it well for the best visibility. But any time spent underwater at Scawfell Island is time well spent. Some patches of coral aren't looking too healthy. But still, the diversity is breathtaking. Here, this normally agile marine mammal demonstrates his clumsy side. Ouch! Normally I would react when my loved one bumps his head, but it's hard to react and also to not breathe at the same time. So we all learnt from this experience. And there's our beautiful boat Rakali, ready to take us further south to Digby Island and to the Duke Island group, where we get amongst coal ships and whales. What a weird mix.
In coal country now, so the coal country ships' names are Bay of Glory. There's Thalassini, I told you a second ago, hang on. Oh, now they're all unknowns. Martine, Explorer Oceana, NSD Lodestar, Corona Optimum, sounds like a Power Ranger or a Transformer. HL Port Headland, that's boring. Got that one. Go on, sorry.
That's alright. That top number there shows you that we were going fast. Well, fast for us, helped along by current. When it's not too rough, I like to go on the deck to do some stretching to ensure that my joints don't seize up completely. From side on, this little islet looked like the head of a bulldog. We've sheltered at Digby Island before, so we were familiar with the wrecked fishing boat and windswept trees. But this time it was calm enough to appreciate the mix of hard corals and soft corals. Rather than head to the Percy Islands like we did last time, the wind was right for us to get to Marble Island of the Duke Island group. There were quite a lot of whales, and I even managed to film some. Rakali was doing good speeds and slicing through the streaks of algae. Time for more whales.
I reckon that's a mother and a calf.
I think so too.
Yeah, little one, big one.
Because game shooting goes on at Marble Island, you have to ask permission to go ashore, but we were happy to just paddle around. In this case, I went kayaking with the camera to check out these gorgeous rock formations and experience the fierce currents. Meanwhile, back on Rakali, Steve saw a dugong, but because I had the camera, he couldn't record it. I was keen to snorkel here, but the currents were pretty strong, so I stayed in the kayak. Next, we needed to get to Island Head Creek for shelter. And just as we were nearing the rocky coastline, whales were doing very distracting things. Sometimes you have to focus, so I couldn't film every leap, but here are some whale antics. The entry to Island Head Creek isn't without its dangers, so we did have to tear our eyes away from these leaping whales to at least ensure we didn't crash into any rocks. It's hard to tell from this dodgy footage, but that pectoral fin is huge. And I nearly filmed a breach. Once we'd badly filmed whales and dodged the rocks, it was definitely pancake time. We kayaked from mud bar to sandbar to explore this spectacular area. This whole area is a military training zone, and so is sometimes completely off limits to sailors. This day there were winds above 30 knots, so we were grateful that our timing was right. It was slippers on time to wait out the storm. Steve taught himself a new tune.
That's it.
We'd read, I'd edit, we'd eat too much, watch birds. We never got bored. Eventually it calmed down enough to get ashore for more exploring. There are shifting sandbars and strong currents here, and we did see boats get stuck, but they floated again once the tide was high enough. For those of you who've never appreciated a pelican's footprints, there's this. Maybe I love these too much. Aren't they gorgeous? Eventually we were off, past more whales. We were nearly at 4,000 nautical miles. There was more beautiful music. And so many coal ships. On longer passages, Steve and I take turns with doing 3-hour watches. This is my 3 a.m. watch. So I got the sunrise just before we arrived at Bundaberg. And we were both awake for this. We hit 4,000 nautical miles. We stopped at Burnett Head to get some groceries and then headed further upstream, where we found a peaceful anchorage with great shelter. Right beside us, the trees were dripping with bird life. The birds seemed to be catching plenty of fish. In the next episode, we'll return to Kagari, Fraser Island, zooming toward our new boat. Sirena has been slowly rotting at Scarborough Marina, so we'll have our work cut out for us, both getting her seaworthy and finding the perfect new owner for Rakali. I hope you've enjoyed this whirlwind trip from the Whitsundays to Bundaberg. See you next time.